Imagine a country boasting the world's most powerful economy, groundbreaking innovations, and a global entertainment empire. Now picture nations known for their chilly winters, reserved demeanor, and perhaps their love for licorice. You wouldn't necessarily associate the latter with greater happiness, would you? Yet, year after year, Finland and Denmark consistently rank at the top of the World Happiness Report, while the United States lags behind. This begs the question, what is the secret sauce to happiness, and why do these Nordic nations seem to have perfected the recipe? The United States, despite its wealth and opportunities, seems to grapple with a happiness deficit. Could it be that the American dream, often associated with individual achievement and material success, doesn't necessarily translate into overall well-being? Finland and Denmark, on the other hand, offer a different perspective. Their societal models prioritize collective well-being, social support, and a healthy work-life balance. Perhaps the pursuit of happiness lies not in individual striving, but in fostering societal structures that nurture well-being for all. The contrast between these nations challenges our preconceived notions about happiness. It compels us to look beyond economic indicators and delve deeper into the fabric of society, exploring the values, policies, and cultural nuances that contribute to a fulfilling life. Finland and Denmark, often hailed as beacons of social progress, have crafted societies that prioritize the well-being of their citizens. Their approach, often referred to as the Nordic model, emphasizes social equality, strong social safety nets, and a collaborative spirit. Unlike the American system, which often emphasizes individual responsibility and a market-driven approach, the Nordic model prioritizes collective good and government intervention to ensure a high standard of living for all. At the heart of this model lies a robust welfare state, funded by higher taxes. These taxes, however, are viewed not as a burden but as an investment in the collective good. They fund universal health care, free education from preschool to university, and generous parental leave policies. These policies provide a sense of security and opportunity for all, regardless of their socioeconomic background, fostering a sense of trust and solidarity within society. Moreover, the Nordic model emphasizes work-life balance, promoting shorter work weeks, ample vacation time, and flexible working arrangements. This allows individuals to dedicate time to family, hobbies, and personal pursuits, contributing to their overall well-being. This starkly contrasts with the American work culture, often characterized by long hours, limited vacation time, and a constant pressure to achieve. In essence, the Nordic model presents a different paradigm for societal success, one where happiness is not an afterthought but a central objective. By examining the key pillars of this model, we can gain valuable insights into how social policies, cultural values, and economic structures intertwine to create a happier and more fulfilling life for citizens. Imagine a world where a sudden illness doesn't lead to financial ruin, and the pursuit of knowledge isn't hindered by exorbitant tuition fees. This is the reality for citizens in Finland and Denmark. Both countries provide universal healthcare systems, ensuring that all citizens have access to quality medical care regardless of their income or employment status. This eliminates the stress and anxiety associated with medical bills, a significant burden for many Americans. Education, too, is considered a fundamental right in these Nordic nations. From early childhood education to higher education, schooling is free of charge. This allows individuals to pursue their passions and reach their full potential without being crippled by student debt. The emphasis on education not only equips individuals with valuable skills but also fosters social mobility, ensuring that everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed. The contrast with the American system is stark. The United States relies heavily on private health insurance, often tied to employment, leaving millions uninsured or underinsured. The high cost of healthcare often leads to difficult choices, forcing individuals to delay or forego necessary medical treatment. Similarly, the American education system, while offering high-quality options, struggles with accessibility and affordability. Skyrocketing tuition fees and student debt have become major concerns, creating a barrier for many aspiring students. This fundamental difference in approaching healthcare and education highlights the contrasting values embedded within each system. While the American model emphasizes individual responsibility and market-driven solutions, the Nordic model prioritizes collective well-being and views access to healthcare and education as fundamental rights, essential for individual and societal flourishing. The social safety net in Finland and Denmark extends far beyond healthcare and education, creating a sense of security throughout an individual's life. Generous parental leave policies provide parents with ample time to bond with their newborns and share caregiving responsibilities, easing the transition into parenthood and promoting gender equality. These policies recognize the importance of early childhood development and provide parents with the necessary support to raise healthy and well-adjusted children. Furthermore, robust unemployment benefits and job training programs offer a safety net for those facing job loss. These programs are designed not just to provide financial assistance, but also to equip individuals with the skills and resources needed to re-enter the workforce. This focus on reintegration ensures that individuals facing temporary setbacks can bounce back and contribute to society, fostering a sense of hope and purpose even during challenging times. In contrast, the American social safety net is often perceived as less comprehensive and more difficult to navigate. While programs like unemployment insurance and food stamps exist, they are often subject to stricter eligibility criteria and shorter durations. This can leave individuals and families in precarious situations, struggling to make ends meet and facing an uncertain future. This difference in the breadth and accessibility of the social safety net reflects the differing philosophies underpinning each system. The Nordic approach, rooted in a strong sense of social responsibility, aims to provide a robust safety net that catches individuals and families before they fall too far, fostering a sense of security and shared responsibility for one another's well-being. One cannot discuss the Nordic model without addressing the elephant in the room: taxes. It is no secret that citizens in Finland and Denmark pay significantly higher taxes than their American counterparts. However, these taxes are not viewed as a burden but rather as a collective investment in the common good. The revenue generated from these taxes funds the comprehensive welfare state, ensuring that everyone has access to essential services and opportunities. Furthermore, Finland and Denmark boast a much lower level of income inequality compared to the United States. Progressive taxation policies coupled with robust social programs help redistribute wealth, ensuring a more equitable distribution of resources. This reduces the gap between the rich and the poor, creating a more cohesive and less stratified society. In contrast, the United States has a more individualistic approach to taxation, often favoring lower taxes and a smaller role for government. While this may appeal to those who prioritize individual financial freedom, it often comes at the expense of social programs and public services. The result is a society with a wider income gap and less social mobility, where opportunities and outcomes are often determined by one's socioeconomic background. This difference in perspective on taxation and income equality highlights a fundamental difference in values. While the American model often prioritizes individual responsibility and rewards individual achievement, the Nordic model emphasizes collective responsibility and prioritizes the well-being of all members of society, regardless of their economic standing. Beyond tangible policies and programs, a key ingredient in the Nordic happiness recipe is an intangible element: trust. Trust in Finland and Denmark permeates society, fostering a sense of community and shared responsibility. Citizens trust their governments to act in their best interests, and they trust their fellow citizens to contribute fairly to the collective good. This high level of trust is evident in various aspects of daily life. From leaving bicycles unlocked to interacting with strangers, there is a palpable sense of security and mutual respect. This social trust extends to institutions as well. Citizens have faith in the fairness and efficiency of their public institutions, whether it's the healthcare system, the education system, or the legal system. In contrast, the United States faces challenges related to social trust. Declining trust in government, institutions, and even fellow citizens has been a growing concern in recent decades. This erosion of trust can lead to polarization, social fragmentation, and a diminished sense of community. The high levels of social trust in Finland and Denmark contribute to a sense of belonging, security, and shared purpose. It fosters a more cohesive and collaborative society, where individuals feel connected to something larger than themselves. This sense of community and shared responsibility lays the foundation for a happier and more resilient society. In the fast-paced, always-on culture of the United States, the concept of work-life balance can often feel like an elusive dream. Long work hours, limited vacation time, and the constant pressure to achieve often leave Americans feeling stressed, burnt out, and disconnected from their personal lives. In contrast, Finland and Denmark have embraced a different approach, one that prioritizes work-life balance as essential for both individual well-being and societal prosperity. At the heart of this Nordic work-life ethos lies a fundamental belief that time is a precious commodity, not something to be sacrificed at the altar of productivity. This belief is reflected in shorter work weeks, generous vacation time, and a cultural acceptance of flexible working arrangements. Rather than glorifying overwork, these societies prioritize time for family, hobbies, and personal pursuits, recognizing that true happiness stems from a life well lived, both inside and outside the workplace. This difference in work culture is palpable. While Americans often wear long work hours as a badge of honor, Finns and Danes prioritize efficiency and focus during work hours, leaving ample time for personal life. This approach fosters a healthier relationship with work, reducing stress and burnout, and allowing individuals to return to their jobs refreshed and re-energized. The Nordic work-life ethos challenges the assumption that longer work hours automatically translate to higher productivity. Instead, it suggests that by prioritizing well-being and providing ample time for rest and rejuvenation, individuals can achieve a higher quality of work and a greater sense of fulfillment in both their professional and personal lives. Imagine having the luxury of time to spend with loved ones, pursue passions, or simply unwind and enjoy the simple pleasures of life. This sense of time affluence, often scarce in the American context, is a defining feature of life in Finland and Denmark. Shorter work weeks translate to more evenings and weekends free from work obligations, allowing individuals to truly disconnect and recharge. Generous vacation policies further enhance this sense of time affluence. Finns and Danes enjoy an average of 5 weeks of paid vacation per year compared to the significantly lower average in the United States. This extended time off allows individuals to travel, spend quality time with family and friends, or simply indulge in guilt-free relaxation, fostering a sense of contentment and reducing stress. This abundance of free time is not seen as a threat to productivity but rather as an essential ingredient for a happy and fulfilling life. It allows individuals to prioritize their well-being, nurture their relationships, and pursue activities that bring them joy and meaning, all of which contribute to a greater sense of overall life satisfaction. The concept of time affluence challenges the American tendency to equate busyness with importance and productivity with self-worth. It suggests that by valuing time as a precious resource and structuring our lives to prioritize its allocation to personally meaningful activities, we can unlock a deeper sense of contentment and well-being. The abundance of free time in Finland and Denmark is not merely spent idly. Instead, it provides fertile ground for individuals to cultivate hobbies, engage in creative pursuits, and nurture their passions. Whether it's joining a sports club, taking a painting class, or volunteering in the community, Finns and Danes embrace leisure activities as an integral part of a well-rounded life. This emphasis on personal pursuits is further fostered by a strong culture of lifelong learning. Libraries, community centers, and adult education programs offer a wide range of courses and activities, allowing individuals to explore new interests, develop new skills, and connect with others who share their passions. This commitment to personal growth and enrichment contributes to a sense of purpose and fulfillment that extends far beyond the workplace. The American obsession with work and productivity can sometimes overshadow the importance of leisure and personal pursuits. In contrast, the Nordic model recognizes that true happiness stems not only from professional achievements, but also from cultivating a rich and meaningful life outside of work. By prioritizing time for hobbies, creative endeavors, and personal growth, Finns and Danes create a life that is both productive and fulfilling. A life where work is just one element in the tapestry of a well-lived existence. The Nordic emphasis on work-life balance is not simply a matter of indulging in leisure, but also a strategic approach to enhancing productivity and well-being. By allowing individuals ample time to rest and recharge, Finnish and Danish companies recognize that their employees will return to work more focused, energized, and engaged. This approach is rooted in the understanding that burnout is a real and costly phenomenon. Overworked and stressed employees are less productive, less creative, and more prone to making mistakes. By fostering a culture of work-life balance, these societies aim to prevent burnout and maintain a workforce that is both healthy and highly productive. Furthermore, the emphasis on well-being extends beyond the workplace. A well-rested and content workforce translates to a healthier and more resilient society. Reduced stress levels contribute to lower rates of stress-related illnesses, while increased time for physical activity and social interaction promotes overall well-being. This holistic approach to productivity and well-being challenges the American notion that these two concepts are mutually exclusive. The Nordic model suggests that by prioritizing employee well-being, companies can reap the benefits of a happier, healthier, and ultimately more productive workforce. Section 5. A cultural shift, from overdrive to balance. Achieving a healthy work-life balance requires more than just favorable policies. It demands a cultural shift in attitudes towards work and leisure. In Finland and Denmark, this shift is evident in the societal norms and values that permeate everyday life. The glorification of busyness and the pressure to constantly prove one's worth through work are notably absent. Instead, there is a shared understanding that time spent with loved ones, pursuing passions, and simply enjoying life is not a luxury, but a necessity. This cultural acceptance of work-life balance allows individuals to prioritize their well-being without feeling guilty or inadequate, fostering a sense of contentment and reducing stress. This cultural shift is also reflected in the way success is measured. While material wealth and professional achievements certainly hold value, they are not the sole indicators of a life well lived. Instead, Finns and Danes place equal importance on personal fulfillment, strong relationships, and a sense of purpose and belonging within their communities. The Nordic approach to work-life balance offers a refreshing alternative to the often frenetic pace of American life. By embracing a culture that values time affluence, personal pursuits, and overall well-being, Finland and Denmark provide a compelling model for a more balanced and fulfilling way of life. Section 1. Community, the bedrock of happiness. While individual freedom and self-reliance are often celebrated in American culture, Finland and Denmark offer a different perspective, that true happiness thrives in the fertile ground of strong communities. It's not just about individual well-being but a shared sense of belonging, a collective spirit that permeates everyday life. This sense of community is palpable, woven into the fabric of their societies and reflected in their daily interactions. In these Nordic nations, social connections are nurtured from a young age. Children spend ample time outdoors, engaging in unstructured play, fostering a natural sense of camaraderie and shared experience. This emphasis on collective enjoyment continues into adulthood with a strong tradition of communal activities from sports clubs and hobby groups to volunteer organizations and neighborhood gatherings. These shared experiences, both big and small, strengthen social bonds and create a sense of belonging. This focus on community is not merely a matter of leisure, but a reflection of deeply ingrained values. Finns and Danes place a high premium on social responsibility, recognizing that individual well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of the collective. This sense of shared responsibility extends beyond immediate family and friends to encompass the wider community, fostering a culture of empathy, support, and mutual respect. The American emphasis on individualism, while fostering a spirit of independence and self-reliance, can sometimes come at the expense of strong community ties. The Nordic model suggests that by prioritizing community and nurturing a sense of shared responsibility, societies can create an environment where individuals feel supported, connected, and ultimately, happier. Section 2. Hygge, cultivating coziness and connection. The Danish concept of hygge has gained international recognition in recent years, and for good reason. More than just a word, hygge is a feeling, an atmosphere of warmth, intimacy, and contentment often associated with cozy gatherings with loved ones, candlelight, and shared meals. It's about embracing the simple pleasures of life and finding joy in everyday moments. Hygge is deeply ingrained in Danish culture, permeating homes, workplaces, and social interactions. It's about creating an environment of warmth and welcome, where people feel comfortable, relaxed, and connected. This emphasis on coziness and connection extends beyond the home, with workplaces often incorporating elements of hygge into their design and atmosphere, fostering a more relaxed and enjoyable work environment. While hygge is most often associated with intimate gatherings, its principles can be applied to larger social settings as well. Community events, from summer festivals to holiday markets, often exude a sense of hygge, with an emphasis on shared enjoyment, warm hospitality, and a welcoming atmosphere. The concept of hygge offers a valuable lesson in cultivating happiness through simple pleasures and meaningful connections. It reminds us that true contentment often lies not in grand gestures, but in savoring the everyday moments of togetherness, warmth, and shared experience. The art of neighborliness is alive and well in Finland and Denmark, fostering a sense of community and belonging that extends beyond the walls of one's home. It's about knowing the people on your street, exchanging friendly greetings and offering a helping hand when needed. This spirit of neighborliness is evident in the small everyday interactions that weave together the fabric of these societies. From casual conversations while walking the dog to lending a tool to a neighbor in need, these seemingly small acts of kindness and connection contribute to a sense of community spirit and mutual support. This sense of neighborliness extends beyond individual interactions, with communities often organizing events and activities that bring residents together, fostering a sense of belonging and shared identity. These community events, from neighborhood picnics and street festivals to volunteer initiatives and cultural celebrations, provide opportunities for residents to connect, socialize, and strengthen their bonds. They create a sense of shared ownership and pride in the community, fostering a spirit of collaboration and mutual support. While the American ideal of the front porch community evokes a sense of neighborly connection, the reality in many communities can often feel more isolating. The Nordic emphasis on neighborliness offers a valuable reminder of the importance of fostering connections within our immediate surroundings, creating a web of support that contributes to individual and collective well-being. One cannot underestimate the role of trust in fostering happiness, and in Finland and Denmark, trust flows like a currency, freely and abundantly. This high level of social trust is not simply an accident but a cultivated value, deeply ingrained in the fabric of these societies. It's a trust that extends beyond personal relationships to encompass institutions, systems, and even strangers. Citizens trust their governments to act in their best interests. Confident that their voices will be heard and their needs considered, they trust their fellow citizens to contribute fairly to the collective good, knowing that their contributions support a system that benefits all. This high level of trust is reflected in the low levels of corruption, the efficient functioning of public services, and the overall sense of security and stability that pervades these nations. This pervasive trust creates a virtuous cycle. When citizens trust their institutions and each other, they are more likely to engage in civic life, volunteer their time, and contribute to the well-being of their communities. This, in turn, strengthens social bonds, fosters a sense of shared purpose, and further reinforces the culture of trust. In contrast, the United States has experienced declining levels of social trust in recent decades, contributing to polarization, social fragmentation, and a sense of unease. The Nordic experience suggests that cultivating trust is not a utopian ideal, but an achievable goal, one that requires conscious effort, transparent governance, and a commitment to fostering a sense of shared fate and collective responsibility. The rewards of such an endeavor are well worth the effort, for in a society where trust flourishes, so too does happiness. In the United States, economic progress is often measured by a single metric gross domestic product. While GDP provides a snapshot of economic activity, it fails to capture the nuances of human well-being. A larger economy doesn't necessarily translate to a happier or healthier society. Finland and Denmark, while boasting strong economies, prioritize a different set of indicators, ones that place greater emphasis on social progress and overall quality of life. These Nordic nations recognize that true societal well-being encompasses a broader set of factors including health, education, social connections, environmental sustainability, and overall life satisfaction. They understand that economic growth, while important, is merely a means to an end, a tool to be used in service of a higher purpose, creating a society where all citizens have the opportunity to thrive. This shift in perspective requires a different set of metrics. Finland and Denmark, along with other Nordic countries, have been at the forefront of developing alternative measures of progress, such as the Social Progress Index and the World Happiness Report. These indices incorporate a wider range of factors, providing a more holistic view of societal well-being and highlighting areas where progress is being made and where challenges remain. By looking beyond GDP and embracing a broader definition of progress, Finland and Denmark challenge the conventional wisdom that economic growth is the sole path to societal well-being. Their approach suggests that by prioritizing social and environmental factors alongside economic ones, societies can create a more balanced and sustainable path to prosperity, one that values human flourishing alongside material wealth. The pursuit of happiness is often intertwined with the pursuit of economic security. The fear of financial instability, the burden of debt, and the struggle to make ends meet can cast a long shadow over individual well-being. Finland and Denmark, through their robust social safety nets and commitment to income equality, provide a buffer against these anxieties, fostering a sense of economic security that contributes to their citizens' overall happiness. Universal healthcare, free education, generous parental leave, and comprehensive unemployment benefits provide a safety net that catches individuals and families before they fall too far. This sense of security allows citizens to take risks, pursue their passions, and weather life's inevitable storms without the constant fear of financial ruin. This economic security extends beyond individual well-being, contributing to a more cohesive and less stratified society. When the gap between the rich and the poor is narrower, as it is in Finland and Denmark, there is a greater sense of shared fate and social solidarity. This reduces social tensions, fosters trust, and creates an environment where people feel supported, not left behind. The American model, with its greater emphasis on individual responsibility and a smaller social safety net, can leave individuals feeling more vulnerable to economic shocks. The Nordic experience suggests that by investing in social programs that promote economic security for all, societies can reap a happiness dividend, fostering a more content, cohesive, and ultimately prosperous society. Finland and Denmark understand that true economic prosperity is not a finite resource to be hoarded, but rather a dynamic process that requires constant investment, particularly in education, innovation, and sustainable practices. Their commitment to these areas has not only fueled their economic success, but also positioned them as leaders in creating a more equitable and sustainable future. Education is considered a cornerstone of the Nordic model, with free education from early childhood through university. This investment in human capital has created a highly skilled and adaptable workforce, capable of competing in the global economy. Furthermore, the emphasis on creativity and critical thinking within the education system has fostered a culture of innovation, leading to advancements in technology, design, and other sectors. Beyond technological innovation, Finland and Denmark are also pioneers in sustainable practices. From renewable energy to eco-friendly urban planning, these nations are committed to creating a more environmentally responsible and sustainable future. This commitment not only benefits the planet, but also creates new economic opportunities in green industries, further strengthening their economies. The American approach to economic growth, while often focused on short-term gains, can sometimes overlook the long-term benefits of investing in education, innovation, and sustainability. The Nordic model suggests that by prioritizing these areas, societies can create a more resilient, equitable, and ultimately prosperous future for all. The pursuit of economic prosperity need not come at the expense of compassion and social responsibility. Finland and Denmark demonstrate that it is possible to create a society that is both economically successful and deeply empathetic, one that values human dignity and well-being alongside economic growth. Their commitment to social justice is evident in their progressive taxation policies, which redistribute wealth to fund robust social programs, ensuring that everyone has access to essential services and opportunities. This approach is not driven by a sense of charity, but rather by a belief in the inherent worth, of every individual and a commitment to creating a society that works for everyone, not just the privileged few. This ethos of empathy extends beyond their borders, with Finland and Denmark consistently ranking among the most generous countries in the world in terms of foreign aid. They recognize that their own prosperity is intertwined with the well-being of the global community, and that addressing global challenges such as poverty, inequality, and climate change is not only a moral imperative, but also in their own self-interest. The American approach, with its emphasis on individualism and a more transactional view of foreign policy, can sometimes appear to prioritize self-interest over global cooperation. The Nordic model suggests that by embracing an economics of empathy, one that balances prosperity with compassion and recognizes our interconnectedness, societies can create a more just, equitable, and ultimately sustainable future for all. As we've journeyed through the social landscapes of Finland and Denmark, uncovering the roots of their happiness, one can't help but feel a sense of awe, perhaps even a tinge of envy. These Nordic nations, often perceived as quiet achievers on the world stage, emerge as giants in their commitment to well-being, their dedication to social equality, and their unwavering belief in the power of community. They offer a profound counter-narrative to the often individualistic, achievement-oriented ethos that pervades many Western societies, including the United States. What lessons, then, can we glean from these lands of hygge and sisu, of cozy contentment and resilient perseverance? The answer lies not in replicating their model wholesale, for every society has its unique history, culture, and set of challenges. Rather, the key lies in extracting the underlying principles that have allowed Finland and Denmark to flourish, principles that transcend geographical boundaries and cultural nuances. The first lesson is the recognition that true societal progress cannot be measured solely by economic indicators. While economic prosperity is undoubtedly important, it is merely a means to an end, a foundation upon which to build a society that prioritizes the well-being of all its citizens. Finland and Denmark understand that true wealth lies in the health, education, and happiness of their people, in the strength of their social fabric, and in the sustainability of their environment. The second lesson is the transformative power of trust. The high levels of social trust that permeate Finnish and Danish societies are not accidental, but rather the result of conscious effort, transparent governance, and a deep-seated belief in the collective good. This trust forms the bedrock upon which their social systems thrive, fostering cooperation, reducing inequality, and creating a sense of shared destiny. The American dream, with its emphasis on individual achievement and upward mobility, has long been a beacon of hope, attracting dreamers and strivers from around the globe. However, the relentless pursuit of this dream, often defined by material success and professional achievement, has come at a cost. The United States, despite its immense wealth and opportunities, grapples with a happiness deficit, with many citizens feeling stressed, overworked, and disconnected from their communities. Perhaps it's time to reimagine the American dream, to redefine success not solely in terms of individual achievement but also in terms of collective well-being. This requires a shift in priorities, from a focus on material wealth to a greater emphasis on quality of life, from a culture of overwork to a greater appreciation for work-life balance, from an individualistic ethos to a stronger sense of social responsibility. This is not to suggest abandoning the values of hard work, innovation, and personal responsibility that have long defined the American spirit. Rather, it's about recognizing that these values can coexist with a greater emphasis on social support, economic security, and a shared commitment to the common good. It's about creating a society where success is measured not just by what we accumulate, but by the well-being of our communities and the legacy we leave for future generations. This reimagined American dream might draw inspiration from the Nordic model, adapting its principles of social democracy, universal health care, and robust social safety nets to the unique context of American society. It would require bold policy changes, a willingness to challenge deeply held beliefs about the role of government, and a renewed commitment to investing in the collective good. Transforming a society is no small feat. It requires a sustained effort, a willingness to challenge the status quo, and a belief in the possibility of a better future. While the path ahead may seem daunting, it's important to remember that even small steps can have a ripple effect, creating momentum for positive change. Creating a happier and healthier society begins at the local level within our own communities. It starts with fostering a greater sense of neighborliness, connecting with those around us, and rebuilding the social fabric that has frayed in recent decades. It involves supporting local businesses, volunteering our time to worthy causes, and engaging in civic discourse with empathy and respect. Beyond individual actions, we can advocate for policies that promote well-being, such as affordable healthcare, quality education, paid family leave, and affordable housing. We can support businesses that prioritize employee well-being, environmental sustainability, and ethical practices. We can engage in constructive dialogue about the role of government in creating a more just and equitable society. Building a happier future is not about utopian ideals, but about pragmatic solutions, about making incremental progress towards a shared vision of a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. It's about recognizing that our individual well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of those around us, and that by working together, we can create a more just, equitable, and ultimately, happier world. The happiness of Finland and Denmark is not a secret to be guarded, but a beacon to be shared, a blueprint for a more humane and fulfilling way of life. Their experience demonstrates that societies can achieve both economic prosperity and social well-being, that individual fulfillment and collective responsibility are not mutually exclusive, and that a deep-seated belief in the common good can create a virtuous cycle of trust, cooperation, and shared prosperity. As we navigate an increasingly complex and interconnected world facing unprecedented challenges such as climate change, economic inequality, and social fragmentation, the Nordic model offers a ray of hope. It reminds us that another world is possible, a world where societies prioritize the well-being of their citizens, where trust and compassion guide policy decisions, and where the pursuit of happiness is not a selfish indulgence, but a collective endeavor. Sharing the Nordic blueprint does not require replicating their model in its entirety, for every society has its unique path to forge. Rather, it's about embracing the underlying principles of social democracy, investing in human capital, fostering social trust, and prioritizing long-term well-being over short-term gains. It's about recognizing that true progress is measured not just by economic indicators, but by the happiness and well-being of all citizens. The journey towards a happier and more content world will be paved with both challenges and opportunities. By drawing inspiration from the Nordic experience, by adapting their lessons to our own contexts, and by working together with a shared sense of purpose, we can create a future where happiness is not a privilege reserved for a few, but a birthright for all.